So, my reaction to the 3 Mile Island video. In my mind, it just provided a wake-up call for America. I think that's the main thing that 3 Mile Island could serve for us. I mean, it is very unfortunate that that accident occurred, and although I'm a huge proponent of nuclear power, that is extremely scary to think about. I mean, I actually live myself about 10 to 15 miles away from a large nuclear power plant, and if there were to be a large accident similar in size to 3 Mile Island, I could potentially have to be evacuated. So, I mean, it's a little scary to think about. Being near a large nuclear reactor, some really bad things can happen. But that also goes to show that we need to have really safe systems on our nuclear reactors. Clearly, what was at 3 Mile Island was not good enough, and it obviously led to the release of radioactive particles. So that's one big thing to take away from that video, is that not only is nuclear power somewhat dangerous if used improperly, it also goes to show that we need state-of-the-art safety systems and lots of redundancies, which I've said in a previous video. It just goes to show that that is really extremely important. And I mean, just like thinking of a reactor, like you got this little bottle of ibuprofen here, and you got this Bilstein like cup here, or koozie here. Like, this is kind of like the containment, it's around the reactor. And in 3 Mile Island, basically, like, think of as this is closed, this is what it should be like, but in 3 Mile Island, kind of opened up, and radioactive particles shot out and were vented because there's too much pressure in the system, and they thought that there was going to be a hydrogen explosion. So that's effectively just like taking the cap off of that and just letting stuff spew out. So that's really quite terrifying to think about. And one of their other fears was that during that whole incident, their fear was that the containment was going to blow off, the lid would fly off, and then just all the reactor contents would explode and shoot out. But what actually happened during that incident is kind of all the fuel rods are in this like lipstick, or not lipstick, beeswax lip balm thing. The rods are inside, and it's pretty solid, but they kind of gooify and went down into the reactor core, so it was half solid and half like kind of gooey, nasty stuff that melted down. So there was a partial meltdown of that reactor. So hopefully you guys enjoy my slight imagery here. Hope it's a little bit better than before, make it a little more interesting. But basically, what happened there is they ended up containing something that could have been completely awful, potentially worse than the Chernobyl incident of 1986. They got really lucky that they could control that. So basically, my thoughts on that video, in conclusion, are that nuclear power is something you do not want to mess with. You want to make sure that whatever design you're using is going to be extremely safe. And although I think nuclear power is extremely effective and very useful today, and that we should keep using it, I think there needs to be a little bit more research and R&D on specific equipment, reactor designs, etc. Because there's not. It's just only a matter of time before the next 3 Mile Island, or even worse. So, yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.